What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Here, let me just grab this link real quick and spread it. Yeah, I'm not going to talk too much on this one. Not looking for a super long video, but definitely some things I want to go over, as you can see with the title. Just spreading it. Announcements. Oh yeah, and I will be in Portugal in a week. So, there are a few people that have been contacting me, displaying some interest. So I will definitely relay and make some videos of what's happening. All right, look, sounds like I can hear myself, so I'll get started. So yeah. So the first thing I want to get into is makeup and perfume or cologne. Any form of masking one's senses. Because that's really what it is, right? It's not enough to sense the normal, natural, standard level of things. We have to go beyond. We have to make up for something, right? So because our existence without making up for something is not good enough, we have to go beyond to cover these senses, to cover up the senses. So it's a form of repression, really, putting makeup on. And this is the thing. I think I'd be more, lenient with makeup if it was edible. As Dr. Moore says, you shouldn't be putting anything on your skin that is not edible. Right, so there are some like indigenous barks and different things like that people use, and I think that's probably good for your skin. There's a difference, but what I'm talking more about again is with this society making all these perfumes, these colognes, the urine and the piss of other animals, right? So because my sense or because my smell, because my natural odor is not good, I'm going to go out and cover it more and more with unnatural things. And actually, this is what I've noticed with my hair. My hair right now is like not oily at all, right? And I wash it with water, distilled water. Sometimes I do urine therapy, but mostly I leave it alone. And after leaving it alone for a while, the quality of it, like it's really soft right now. And I don't even use brush. I just slowly, bit by bit, gently just like part it with my hands. It's perfect. I thought having long hair would be this horrible thing, but literally, if I don't want it to get wet, I just tie it up and it's done. It's so simple. And so this is the thing. I think people are not ready for the simple. So they're going to go look for all these products, all these shampoos, all these conditioners, all these conditioning, right? To cover up that which is natural. Right? That which is normal, that which is beautiful when expressed authentically, without any form of cover up. And so this is what we're doing today, ladies and gentlemen, is cover-ups after cover-up, after cover-up, after cover-up, So this is the thing. It's like, again, if the makeup is edible, I'll think twice. But most of the makeup we're using is totally unnatural and really poisonous. Right? So how do you expect yourself to be pretty if you're constantly using these things that are telling your body to not be pretty? The makeup is saying, I'll be pretty for you. I'll be beautiful for you. You don't have to be beautiful deep down inside, behind all the covering and the mask and the makeup. I'll be beautiful for you instead. And so that's the lie, right? It's very much like witchcraft if you think about it, right? Because it's a layer of pretense. I know this is really deep and it probably cuts deep really quickly, but if let's just take it objectively, right? And pretend a child is observing it, right? It's a layer of pretense. It's a layer of pretend. And a layer of pretend means that I can't deal with what is not pretend. You see? And this is partially the reason for why here, give me 1 second. And outside of the fact that, it's hot as hell in Mexico, this is part of the reason why I like to wear very little clothes, and even with pants, I don't have many different types of pants. I just have like 3 or so that are my favorite. Girls, I think they're much more expressive and they're beautiful and they're artistic. Sure, they can go a little bit more crazier with clothes, right? And the expression, the ornaments of it all. But for guys, I don't know if it's natural to be, to have so many different outfits, to try to look good in so many different ways. So this is what I'm getting to with the makeup and the clothes. If it's used for vanity purposes, we'll often come to find that our personality changes with each outfit or each version of makeup. Today, my makeup's good, so I'm more confident. You see, today my makeup's bad, so I'm not confident. My eyeliner isn't right or whatever it is, these small psychological problems that have no use, that have no value, that have no place in a natural life, right? So again, I'm not totally castigating makeup. If it's edible, I'll reconsider. But generally speaking, 95% of the cases that I have seen so far, yeah, it's like, what are we making up for? It's in the language. It's right there in front of you, staring at you. Make up. What are you making up for? What would happen if we stopped altogether trying to make up for things, right? And that's very much, you could describe the New Age spiritual community as a make-up community. They're trying to make up for something. They're trying to escape themselves by making up with some spiritual, quote unquote, spiritual practice. You see? So the meditation or the breath work or whatever it is becomes makeup. It's just to look nice. But deep down, there's something very ugly that we're not dealing with. Right? So what I'm saying is, I think the most beautiful thing is if you go down to the, to where everything isn't made up, right? Where there is no pretend. And if it's ugly, you face that ugliness. Right? And then after you face that ugliness, then the beauty will be able to be expressed because the beauty comes from the ability to face ugliness. But most people think beauty is ignore ugliness, cover up ugliness for as long as possible, and then somehow magically I'll put on this thing and become beauty. You see the trap here, guys. This is, again, instant gratification, because that's what it is. We live in an instant gratification society. So as long as things look right on the surface, then it's okay. But see, I'm the guy that says, it's not about the surface. It's not about the clothes, right? It's not about what you put over yourself. It's what's inside of you. Of course, and what's outside of you too. But once what's inside of you is correct, what is outside will be expressed in the same manner. So instead of trying to make up and correct and fix the outside of things, why don't we go to the heart of the issue? Why don't we target the center of degeneration? Right? Why don't we go down to the root of the problem, the root of the ugliness? Because in finding, seeing, and dealing with the root of the ugliness, again, that is beautiful. A person that has the patience to not make up for anything and just remain with himself, that is beautiful. You see what I'm saying? And I made a couple posts on this, but I was basically saying that, it's not about escaping the ego. It's about being real with the ego you've got. That the very pursuing to be free of the ego is egotistical. In the same sense, to try to look pretty when you're not is ego, is vanity. If you are pretty, you don't have to try to be pretty. You know what I mean? So then there's no vanity in it. And so, again, vanity comes with a form of pretend. or a form of cover-up, a form of makeup. So this is not just towards women. I mean, in Korea, guys wearing makeup is huge now. They've even gotten the guys, they've even gotten the masculine spirit to be indoctrinated, right? And to be so concerned with the outer. And so this is the thing, again, guys, is it's such an interesting topic, such an interesting question of makeup. What are we making up for? And if we use all that energy that we're using to make up for things, why don't we just, redirect that energy into not making up and just being what I am deep down under all the layers, under the onion layers of all my spicy, sour existence. Let's get to the core. Let's get to the root. So I think I said most of what I have to say. I'm going to glance at the chat real quick, and I might hop off. Again, just a quick one. I didn't want to make this too long. I just didn't want to have to upload it with the recording later. Exactly. Upside down. Greetings, Jacob. Exactly, Julia. Superficial illustrates lack of confidence. Exactly. And so, yeah, I know this is probably triggering for a lot of people, but it has to be said, because that's what I see on like the celebrity stage and all of this kind of stuff is they're not really beautiful. They're not really attractive. They're not really what I think is, an idol. But that's precisely it. Is every time we make an idol, it's most of the time pretend. All the time it's pretend. Who is this idol? Who is this thing that we're making up for? So as Julia's name, simplicity revealed. What's simple, if what was simple was revealed, it would be beautiful naturally. That's what I'm trying to get at. That they've got us in this trap of, I'm not beautiful, immediately I need to make up. Immediately I need to solve the problem superficially. And my whole life, eternally, I just do this superficial problem solving. The superficial makeup cover-up. It's not the way forward, guys. Anything that's a quick fix, that's artificial, right? That isn't being dealt with at the root level. So again, if I put all this makeup on, psychologically, I don't need to be beautiful, right? Or how do you say it? I don't appreciate my natural beauty. I can just cover things up, so I don't have to actually be healthy. Same with the senses, the senses that you get from perfumes and cologne, the smell, even nutritional supplements that are artificial. Once you take them, the body stops making them, right? So once you take artificial insulin, your body starts making insulin because it's like, oh, okay, something else artificially is giving me insulin. This is the biggest problem with allopathy, which includes makeup. Which includes all of these things, right? Because the moment I cover up my scent, my body doesn't feel like it needs to have another scent or its natural scent, right? So this is, again, a huge caveat with all shampoos. This is all makeup, shampoo, conditioner, soaps, all of these things. What's in there? Laundry detergent, what do you call it? Dish soap. What is this smell? What is this artificial smell that's being used to cover up the smells that are actually there? What you see, all of the cleaning agents, all of our makeup, all of our nutritional supplements is some level of a cover-up. And if we're covering something up, the problem is not solved. Only very superficially it may be solved, maybe avoided for a very small period of time, but you're fooling yourself if you think you can escape it. So again, this makeup society, what are we making up for, folks? Perhaps when we stop making up, we will be beautiful. Perhaps when we stop covering up, we will be beautiful, having dealt with all the ugliness in ourselves. So I love you guys. This is why I'm telling you guys this, because I love you guys. And I want everyone, every lady, every man to be the most beautiful man and woman ever. I want us to be shiningly radiant. And how does that come into being? We stop covering our radiance. We stop covering that shine. We stop covering that glitter. Okay? So that's what I'm saying is when we no longer have this mentality of makeup, we're shining. And so that's why seeking for any spiritual experience, again, is makeup. It's a form of makeup. Because I think that by superficially covering up my lack of spirituality, I will be spiritual. So it all comes around for full circle, right? That once you don't make up for anything, you're glowing. So let's see. Blazas has something interesting here. Sock, sack, suck, shake, saka, something interesting here with words. I agree with what you're saying, but you are a good-looking guy, so it's easy for those who are confident of how they look. But this is the thing. I don't think I would be a good-looking guy, and I don't know if I am. I don't think I would be if I wasn't eating healthy. You know, I don't think I would be on that trajectory of looking and expressing more beautiful, genetically speaking, because that's the thing. All genetic diseases, right, is just cellular degeneration. It's just a level of sickness. Meaning when there is no sickness, the genetics, the beauty of the genetics, the beauty of the code is expressed perfectly. So we have to understand that just because you're beautiful or just because you're not beautiful doesn't mean you shouldn't, stop covering up in order for your body to naturally produce the pheromones, produce rebuild the skin, do all these things. Because that's what I'm saying is deep down, everyone is beautiful. That's what I'm saying, deep down. But it's behind that blockade and that wall of ugliness, that wall of pretend, that wall of pretense, that wall of shame that requires me to cover up. So that's what I'm saying is, I get that it's difficult, but we have to practice not covering up. And really, that's not practicing at all. The practice is the cover up. So when we stop practicing cover up, what is there? What's there is what is. And so that's what I'm saying is once we are comfortable or not comfortable, but once we face what is, then we will start to heal. Then we will start to look more and more beautiful naturally. See, beauty is natural. Anything unnatural is forced to me. Because the next morning when you don't have any makeup on, you're a different person. You see? So beauty has to be unforced, has to have a level of freedom, a level of transparency, a level of no censorship. To me, censorship is ugly, right? So no matter how beautiful this makeup looks, it's censorship. It's some form of cover-up. So again, a message of love, right? Let's see. Everyone has a unique beauty, exactly. The most beautiful light comes from within, exactly. So males too, but females especially need to get in touch with this, that it's not just what we see on the surface. Of course, men are much more objectifiers, right? We like to see the beautiful edge of things. That's true. However, once a man is attracted and hooked in with that, that surface level beauty, the next thing he looks for is that beauty matched inside, or is there a incoherency with this outer beauty and it's just a personality? You see what I'm saying? The beauty is not an actual authentic original being, but it's just some surface, I just put this personality on when other people are around, and when I'm with my husband, it suddenly disappears, this kind of a thing. No, it can't be like that. Beauty is something that is, again, authentic, original, natural, unforced, always. That's what's beautiful, is when one person is the same person all the time. That's what's beautiful. That's what's authentic and true to me, is when a person doesn't change with his clothes, doesn't change with his makeup. So that, what I'm also saying is, again, if your makeup is healthy and alkaline electric, and your personality doesn't change after you put it on for artistic purposes. I don't care what you do, Put some clothes on if you want to. I'm not completely against clothes. When I go to Portugal, it might be cold. I might wear some clothes, okay? I'm just saying that if it changes who you are, you probably shouldn't be doing it. So again, for me, I've had a fast from girls. I've had a fast from clothes. I've had a fast from so many things. I've had a fast from super unhealthy foods. And now my level of unhealthy is alkaline electric cooked stuff. That's as far as unhealthy I will go, but technically it's still healthy. So it's these kinds of things, right? Now I think we need to fast from cover-ups. So actually, when I go to Julia's place, I want to start doing water fast, grape fast, whatever, doing more fruit, these kinds of things, because it's the same idea. Is when I spend time away from makeup, when I spend time away from cover-up, when I spend time away from all my personalities, I am in touch with the self. I am in touch with who I am. I am being honest with myself, and I have integrity with myself. I'm spending time with who this being really is, because I don't really know who Eugene is, guys. That's why every day I have to figure out and meet him. But if I don't have a patience and a willingness to meet Eugene, I don't know myself, I'm just lost. So there has to be some level of respect to meet you, who you are, naked, deep down, without any cover-up. That's all I'm saying. I smell like horses for most of the time. And that's the thing. When we feed our animals great, they're not going to smell much at all. So, the dogs, some of my dogs that I had before, while I was feeding them great, they didn't smell like anything. So I would just, rub up and just, completely embrace them. Because again, the bad smell is coming from that which needs to be detoxed out of the body. And most people are just keep constantly putting in bad smells, bad tastes, bad sights. They're just taking in all of everything that's bad, everything that's wrong, and covering it up superficially. So yeah, don't get me wrong, I agree with you, but some are naturally attractive, or what is considered attractive. And this is many do cover up its mental issues. Yeah, so exactly. So again, what I'm saying is everyone deep down is attractive. Everyone deep down is beautiful. It's just so much of our conditioning and our societal programming has covered that beauty up. Whether it's a physical beauty, whether it's a beauty expressed in poetry, everyone is beautiful. And that's why I'm concerned with leaving the makeup behind as soon as possible. Yes, I don't get it personally, a thick foundation, but I do wear mascara. Exactly. And so this is the thing. I'll be honest, with my previous girlfriends, I would like eye makeup. I would say just do the eyeliner or make the eyelashes look nice, because I have a personal weakness when it comes to eyelashes. So I would do that I would say that to request that to girls that have been in my life. But still, I think at the end of the day, we should I think the eyelashes will be damaged if you keep using those things, And same with this word foundation. Oh, that's such a horrible word. It's a foundation for all your makeup, but that very foundation is falling. It's folly. That very foundation is just all these chemicals over your face. The foundation is a mask. So let's really call it what it is. It's a foundational mask. Right? So it's the same thing as a physical clothing piece of mask, just a more sophisticated makeup version of it, right? So you're putting on someone else's face every day. No, folks, don't do that. Don't put on someone else's face. I want to see you. Even if you're ugly, I'd rather see ugly you than beautiful makeup you, in the long run. Maybe short-term gratification-wise, some vanity side of me wants to see some makeup version that's fake for that short-term gratification. But in the long run, you can't hide. You can't hide behind the makeup forever. That's what I'm saying. So I'm saying, instead of getting comfortable hiding, get comfortable not hiding. Get in touch with that side of you that doesn't need to hide. That doesn't need to make up, that doesn't need to cover up, that doesn't need to, put things under the rug. So there's that. Yeah, and I think we should end with that, as Jacob Band says, put the masks down. There's no point in being someone who you're not. So don't make up for anything. Be you. Yeah.